Hey everybody, it's Jeremy. Welcome back to Lucid's Tournament Game 7, where we are playing Helheim. This is turn 23. Let's jump into things. Alright, so we've got a couple of different things going on this turn. We have Researched Conjuration 2, one more turn till Conjuration 3. Fantastic. That's going to get us a number of different tools for our toolkit. Cool. Skeletor, the Furbolg champion, has claimed the Throne of Knowledge. Neat. We cast Reanimation. Great. We found a magic site in Pulmonia, a canyon of wild winds. Awesome. This is a 2-air gem site. We searched the Dead Forest for magic sites with Svart 1, found nothing, but Jade Sork 1 did find something, and that is a Lantern Fins. Little odd. Jade Sork 1 is water nature, and this is a water site, I think. It might be a nature site, I'm not sure. But it gives us a fire gem, so alright, whatever. And then we got a slew of battles. So, as we can see, we were somewhat correct in our prediction that Saramatia would go for Zimria and Rame. Okay? Somewhat, because they also went for Srimclever. So, a little bit of both worlds. Let's see how things turned out. So, in Zimria, we can assume, just with our province defense there, we've got a little cluster of, what's this, 5 Oirapatas in Zimria. And their Wolf Tribe is not going to be able to do anything against these Oirapatas. We'll go ahead and boost on through. Get a couple of shots fired. Now, a large quantity of Wolf Tribe might be able to take out a few Oirapatas, right? Because they do have multiple attacks at okay attack value, right? And they do have piercing damage. Well, I say they have piercing damage, but the invulnerability kind of doesn't give a shit. They could take out a couple of Oirapatas, but I don't think we have the numbers required for that. So, no such luck. Which means we lose Zimria with no casualties. Now, we attacked in Lauria. This is one of our Jarls pinging. And we are up against Scant Little, so this is good. This is exactly what we are looking for. Cast Blessing, cast Air Shield, cast Mistform, cast Holy Avenger, and run forward. Now, we are woefully bad at killing things right now. We have 0 gear, so not super great. But we get a kill, and that gives us a Blood Surge, which does increase our strength, makes us a little killier, increases our attack skill, which is good, increases our defense skill just slightly, and gives us reinvigoration. And this is why I like Blood Surge for thugs, right? This is why I went Blood Surge for Helheim, because I wanted to focus on thugging rather than just on my Hellhurtings in theory, but I haven't been doing that. I've been mostly focusing on Hellhurtings, so we're gonna have to try to switch gears. We're gonna have to try to get to Construction 4, but right now, Conjuration 3 is way more important. So we'll see. We'll see how we can pivot towards that. We get to fighting this guy and rush forward, kill that guy. Fantastic. Wonderful. So we win in Lauria. Fantastic. Then we get hit in Rame. Now this is the province that spreads diseases. And this is the province that got hit the hardest, right? A pretty large province, and we kind of called this, right? We called him being able to reinforce into Rame from multiple positions, and I entertained the idea of trying to meet him there. And we potentially could have, but I do not think we would have been able to meet him with enough to guarantee a win. So I do think we made the right call this time around. It was just a call that was necessitated by what we had access to, unfortunately. Now, if we had gambled everything and brought in all of our mages and things like that from the cap, then we might have been able to win. But if he had brought more than what he shows here, if he had brought another 5 Oirapatas, we might still have lost, and that would have been game. So, instead, we've got, I think, 10-ish Oirapatas here with his Prophet and, I think, 2 Warrior Sorceresses. They are going to annihilate this PD. Absolutely no problems. Cool. Aha! I was gonna say, his Prophet seemed preternaturally quick. His Prophet has gained a heroic ability, and it is quickness. Good to know. That is not, like, easily exploitable, but if his Prophet gets too far out in front, we could pop his Prophet really easy. Because his Prophet, all his Prophet has going for him is high defense skill. I guess he also has Awakened Tattoos with Invulnerable 10, but I don't know. It's probably unlikely to save it. He's just got high defense skill. So, he takes Rain, and yeah, there's 10 Oirapatas, 2 Sorceresses, and 1 Chieftain here. We get to see a battle in Agartha, so we'll go ahead and watch that real quick. And it's just a ping. It's just Calum being tricky-dicky, which is all good. And then we have a battle in Srim Clever, where we have moved in units and in anticipation of Sarmatia hitting us here. What are we facing? Okay, so it is a raiding party of 5 Oirapatas with a warrior sorceress up against the province defense, which unfortunately is just woodsmen here. A couple of a province defense van here, 1 van here, and 1 van jarl, 3 herdmen, and I think 12 jade maidens. So let's see how this goes. We're gonna put it on fast forward because not a lot of crazy stuff's happening. They're awakening tattoos and blessing, doing their normal thing. We've blessed up and do our mist form, do our holy avenger, etc. So our jade maidens are rushing forward. Can 12 jade maidens with a modest bless deal with 5 Oirapatas with a good bless? I do not know. So our Jade Maidens come in and immediately start dying. Now, fortunately, our Van here and Jarl come in immediately afterwards to kind of like add additional strength into the mix. But we can see our Jade Maidens are not holding up super well. And then, oof, thankfully, boom, boom, back to back, we kill, I believe, the Warrior Sorceress and one of the Oirapatas out front. Quickly kill another one, and then it's off to the races. They are routed, but actually we lose our Jade Maidens to rout as well. We chase down one more Oirapata, and we take the field. But we don't have very many Jade Maidens left from that, so let's see what that cost us. Okay, yeah, 3 Oirapatas and 1 Warrior Sorceress for 6 Jade Maidens. And I feel like that's not necessarily a guarantee every single time. I feel like there are probably going to be situations where the Oirapatas beat 12 Jade Maidens. And that's rough. That really is rough. But those are our options, right? It's a hard battle, but right now that's the leg up that we have, right? Is we have production compared to Sarmatia, right? Sarmatia has 3 fortifications. 2 of those forts are being sieged. They only have their capital with which to consistently produce units. So we have to outproduce them, and we have to take these engagements when we can and hope that we can whittle down his forces. Okay, what else is going on? We have an unexpected event where treasure has been found. Plus 880 gold, fire gems, air gems, water gems, earth gems, and a rabbit foot charm. Very nice. Very, very nice. Okay, cool. Fantastic. That's really good that we got that money because our income is starting to suffer because Saramatia's starting to fucking press into our lands. And we knew this would happen, right? We knew this was the flip side of losing the battle on Saramatia's capital. We lost so much power, so much combat potential in that instant, right? Nearly 40 hell herdings. We lost so much power in that instant that we're having a hard time keeping a hold of everything that we've got. But we're doing what we can. So, what is happening this turn? Well, this is probably going to be a long turn. Not in that it's probably going to be long for us to get through it. There's actually very few things happening, but long as in this is going to span a long length of time because this is right before Christmas. And I believe the intention is to pause either at the end of this turn or after this turn has happened. So either this turn is going to be long or the next turn is going to be long. So I'm trying to get this done because I'm not sure which one, but I do believe the intent is to pause the game. So we are continuing to raid in Saramatian lands. We need to do this because we need to... It's okay to take engagements, battles like this in Srim Clover if we can continue to harm his production and hurt his income. So, we were successful in taking Lauria last turn. We're going to hit Ungbaloth this turn, okay? This is a little cheeky and might get us killed, but we'll see. We are also hitting high peaks. To my understanding, Tirnanog is also hitting Menace, but for now, they're trying to siege down Glimmering Fields and Gifa, so that's the main focus for them at this point. We're going to move Hearst 5 over to see if we can see a battle in Menace. Fingers crossed. So we're hitting Ungbaloth. We're going to try to catch a battle in Menace, and we're going to hit high peaks as well. We are sneaking back into Ard to try to keep an eye on reinforcements coming this way, because we know he's going to push out Oirapatas, but we want to see if he's going to push out mages. Okay? Before we get into discussing what's happening in our Heartland, we have to take a big look at what's going on over here. So this is a stack of 30-ish Avite Light Infantry and Avite Charioteers. Let's take a look at what that actually is. So this is Hinam. Avite Light Infantry are these guys right here. 25 gold, 14 resources, 15 recruitment points. These are the basic infantry, pretty much, for Hinam. Got Avite Spearmen, which are a little bit, I guess, less so. Well, no, they're actually better. Regardless, they're very nondescript, low protection, okay skills, but only because they're giants, right? They're size 3 giants, so they've got decent strength. They got decent defense because they have a big ass shield, right? They have low armor, high hit points. They hit hard, and you gotta cut through them. But three or so Heirdmen can take an Avite Light Infantry, because a Heirdman might have 17 attack, so that's not... They don't have enough protection to really reduce that much, except for the shield, right? So they can hack a light infantry to bits, whereas a light infantry can hit them and kill them, right? But I guess that's a bad example, right? Because 3 Heirdmen can fit into a square, 2 Avite Light Infantry can fit into a square. 2 Avite Light Infantry normally will beat 3 Heirdmen. Although it kind of comes down to luck because of the high defense skill and the glamour. So, you know, it could go either way. Regardless, they're not really the problem. The problem is these boys, Avite Charioteers. 75 gold, decent hit points, decent protection, decent everything, but realistically, they're size 5 tramplers. That's the big deal, is they're going to trample through our lines, and they're going to be a big problem. I have reached out to Helheim to see what's up with this. They have not responded. My assumption is going to be that Helheim is going to attack Dead Forest this turn. I am probably not going to be able to survive well against Helheim and Saramatia. And I get, right, Saramatia is surviving just fine against me and Tirnanog. But again, that's because I made a mistake, lost a whole lot of combat potential against Saramatia with the loss on my capital, or their capital. So it's kind of a different situation, right? If we get attacked by Helheim, that's probably game for us, but we will, of course, go down swinging. And I will correspond with Tirnanog, right, to let them know about the situation. And what I will try to do is, realistically, and this is punitive, right, but what I will try to do is I'll try to set up my ally, right? If it looks like I'm going to go down, I will, of course, try my best not to, and I will try to eke my way out of it either through negotiations or through smart battle tactics, etc., right? But if it looks like I'm not going to be able to do either of those things, then I will try to harm Saramatia as much as I can, or Helheim, depending on the situation, to give Tirnanog a better scenario, a better option for winning, right? Like if I can punitively obliterate a Saramatian army to allow Tirnanog to take Saramatia's capital or something like that, great, fantastic. So we're gonna have to see how that goes. For now, I am moving. Yeah, I am moving Jarl 5 back into Dead Forest with the 6 remaining Jade Maidens and the Herdmen. We are recruiting still in. No, that's actually probably a bad idea. What if we just do? Because we can only get 3. That's fine. We might need bodies. We'll see. So we're recruiting in Dead Forest. We're also picking up another Jade Sorceress. And the reason why we're picking up Jade Sorceresses is if Helheim pops onto Dead Forest, I don't think... Now, it's possible... These guys have decent siege strength. They have 2.3, right? These guys also have 2.3. But 30 at 2.3 is only going to be like about 70 or so siege strength. It's going to take them a while to actually pop my forts. I've got a scout coming in to try to get eyes on Helheim itself to see if they're going to be like reinforcing the stack, because maybe the stack hits Dead Forest. Maybe the stack doesn't hit me at all. But if it does, if it hits Dead Forest, then what we'll probably have between 2 to 3 turns if it's just this stack. If it gets reinforced a turn later, then that's probably going to go downhill. But if it's just this stack at 2 to 3 turns, we might be able to cheese our way out of this through summons. So we're going to summon some ogres and some horned serpents this turn. Right? We will have 8 Jade Maidens, some ogres, some horned serpents, and if we have a turn or 2, next turn we will have Conjuration 3, and we can summon some whites. And whites are really strong, right? Actually, very strong. So this is potentially a really good option for us. We can do things like Moss Body. We can potentially, next turn, we'll be able to do lesser water elementals with both of our Jade Sorceresses. In battle, we'll be able to do things like Earth Meld, or we'll be able to do like Earth Elementals. We'll be able to do an Air Elemental, stuff like that. So we will not be defenseless. All we'll need to make sure that we have a little bit of chaff to soak things up. Because, and this is of course, right, we want to get a scout out here, because if this is a committed attack, then we're not going to waste the gem, right? If he's reinforcing with a bigger stack behind, we're not going to waste the gem, right? We'll end up losing Dead Forest anyways, and it'll be a better idea to commit those gems elsewhere. But if this is an attack, and it is a half-hearted attack, then we might be able to defend against it just by summoning the right things and having the right little buffs. Things like Moss Body on a couple of whites. Oof, hoofa doofa. That can go a long way, right? In theory. So we'll see how that goes. What else are we doing? The big thing is now that he has all of these Oi Rapadas in striking distance of my Heartland, we have a tiered kind of situation. Either he can hit my capital, or he can fan out and hit a bunch of my lands. I actually assume the way that Sarmatia has been playing again, they've been doing kind of expand and contract. I think this has been kind of a contract turn. Right, like they did hit 3 provinces, but they brought forces together onto a single province, right? I anticipate, my assumption is I think they're going to hit a bunch of, they're going to be 5 in Tiny Willow, 5 in Sinafe, 5 in Lyratos, 5 in Strimclaver, right? They're going to hit me a number of times. And if that's the case, if I'm assuming that, why the fuck am I moving people onto Helheim? Because I'm moving people onto Helheim and patrolling. And that is because if I'm wrong, if I'm right, and they hit those provinces, and we lose those provinces, it's going to be rough, but recoverable. Again, raiding, counter-raiding, etc. It's doable, right? If I'm wrong, and they do, because they can reinforce from Brightgate, from Zemeria, from Rame, they can put about 30 to 35 units on my cap, which we've seen that 30 to 35 units beats the shit out of my stuff in general, right? So they could very well hit my cap. If they do that this turn, and I do not defend against it, that stops my production. That then gives them the ability to expand outwards, right? And I don't know that I'll be able to knock them off. That might immediately be game. If they hit all of the rest of my provinces, that'll be painful, but it won't be game, right? Because I can counterattack out from there, in theory, right? The more time I get to produce more units, the more my options increase. But it's grim, right? It is grim. Even with us defending, we could still lose this. He has a better bless, and a better setup. So we're actually having to dedicate a fair amount to what's going on here. And we're actually going to move and patrol this guy down here. So, what are we doing? We are bringing in our Herdman, right? We've got a stack of 54 Herdmen and 1 Serf. He's in there. So Herdmen are going to be decent against Oi Rapadas, but not great. They have high defensive skills, so they should be able to survive a little bit. They have decent protection. They have glamour, right? Oi Rapadas are going to beat them, definitely. But they should be able to survive enough to help hack the Oi Rapadas down. They shouldn't be completely useless, is the thing, right? 35 Oi Rapadas could be 100 Herdmen, but they would take losses, okay? We don't have 100 Herdmen, but we do have close, because we have 55 there, and we have 11 here in the capital. Those are coming out, as are some long dead, and we've got our province defense. So that all added together is hopefully going to give us a decent mix for our hell herdings, of which we will have 15, right? Half the number of Oirapadas as he has. So we'll have 15 hell herdings that are going to be on a hold and attack cavalry, I believe. Well, some of them are going to be on a hold and attack cavalry on the bottom, and then some are going to be on hold and attack rear on the north. And then we're also going to have our Valkyries, which are on a hold and attack rear, right? And we're actually going to deploy the Svarts this turn as well. So we've got Svart 2 and Svart 3 patrolling. They are coming out with Ironskin, Earthmeld. Earthmeld should have a decent chance of hitting the Oirapadas, and it should do a decent job of keeping the Oirapadas immobile. We probably need to bring the whole shebang forward, because we got to make sure the Svarts are close enough to actually do the fight. We're trying to let our province, our PD, get in and actually participate as well. But we can only do so much of that, right? We've got to be careful. We can't just let people. We can't just try to let our PD go in and get killed. Well, I mean, we can. Sorry. What I'm trying to say is we can't be so concerned about letting our PD try to do all the heavy lifting that we don't position correctly in order to do what we want to do. Earthmeld has very low range, so we are going to try to make sure that we are close enough to hit it. We also have a couple. We're actually going to give them a couple more Earth Gems, because if they die and lose these Earth Gems, we're fucked anyways. So we're going to give them a couple Earth Gems so that they can burn through them to keep up their or keep their fatigue lower. Or if they do not, which they probably will, they might actually decide to cast some lesser Earth Elementals if the battle goes long. So we'll see how that goes. All right. Again, I'm anticipating that this is not going to be a thing, because I'm betting that he is going to just hit all of my provinces. He's going to try to decrease the amount of income that I have. That's what I would anticipate. I considered the idea of, again, right, I considered the idea of anticipating that and maybe going to Sinafe or going to Tiny Willow or something like that instead, like actually moving units out to that situation. And there's the chance that is the riskier play. It absolutely is. It's also the more rewarding play. If we are right and we catch him there, like if we pick Sinafe and he sends five Oirapadas there, and we just dumpster on those 5 Oirapadas, that's great. That's fantastic. But if we're wrong and he hits our cap, we're fucked. So we've got to go cap. We don't have to. We could survive a turn without the cap production. It's just a really dicey move. So we're gonna go cap. If in the off chance he does go there, if he piles in everything, I think we have a decent chance. I think it is going to be a hard-fought battle, but I do think we have a decent chance. We're just gonna have to see. So I think that is going to be it. Put some air gems on. Have him cast spells. So we'll see how that goes. giving people gems and the options of knowing, hey, I'm gonna have elementals next turn is always a dicey proposition. But you know, we'll see how it goes. All right, that is gonna be it for the turn. That's the majority of what's happening. So I hope you enjoyed. I will see you all next time. Crossed. Bye, everybody.